got my gearhead archery bow. We are headed out to the blind and we're gonna go see if we can get on a hog tonight. We've been seeing hogs pretty much every night on trail cam, so.
We're gonna cook some goulash. I don't know how many of you have enjoyed goulash in your life, but it's a simple meal, but it's really tasty. So this is Mr. Steven Waugh. Steven is a wild hog buyer, but he also has a company that furnishes, I would call it a trail camera.
Welcome to A Sportsman's Life. We're so glad you tuned in to join us for another exciting real-world outdoor adventure right here on A Sportsman's Life. Well, a beautiful winter day, and got my gearhead archery bow. We are headed out to the blind. We're gonna go see if we can get on a hog tonight. We've been seeing hogs pretty much every night on trail cam, so pretty good chance we might see some tonight. Have not hunted this blind yet, so Luke and I set this blind up a few weeks back, and it's a little pop-up blind, so we're gonna go sit in that pop-up blind. We got the gearhead archery bow, and man, shout out to Gearhead Archery. These things are sweet. But we're gonna go see if we can put this bad boy to use, see if we can get on a hog tonight. So stay tuned here, folks, on A Sportsman's Life. Let's go get in the blind. Absolutely beautiful evening. Situated in the blind, got a feeder 20 yards away, got my gearhead archery bow, and we are ready to go. So I got my good friend Mirza out. He's down hunting my blind on the south part of the ranch, and I thought I'd set up here with my gearhead bow. So stay tuned, maybe we'll have a little hog action coming in here tonight. They've been coming through here, so I know they're in the area. It's just a matter if they come in, so stick with me. Let's have some fun. Another hour till dark. Getting a little rain. Perfect night. Dogs and deer so far. Let's hold tight. Well, it sounds like the coyotes are sounding off. We were gonna check out, folks. We just got back to camp. We heard hogs. They came into the right, kind of behind me, but they never poked out. So they were kind of milling around back in the brush back in there, and it didn't happen. Saw a few more deer, but man, we had a great time. This is the Gearhead Disruptor Pro 24. It's 24 inches axle to axle. Folks, check them out, gearheadarchery.com. Fantastic bows. Listen to them. They're out tonight. Maybe I need to go coyote hunting. Gearheadarchery.com. These are great bows. This 24-inch axle to axle. While I was sitting in that pop-up line, really able to move around nicely. If I needed to take the shot, I was ready to go. But we did not get any hogs to come in tonight. And I got to go get Mirza. He's down there hunting by the creek, and I did not hear a shot. So hogs aren't moving much tonight. A little bit of rain, but beautiful night. Okay, stay tuned. We got more here on A Sportsman's Life. Brought to you by Dallas Safari Club, Conservation, Education, and Hunter Advocacy. Hornady, accurate, deadly, dependable. Taurus Firearms, maker of the Raging Hunter. Trigicon, brilliant aiming solutions.
Well, folks, I think we're going to open this hog hunt up with some down-home cooking over a wood fire. We're going to cook some goulash. I don't know how many of you have enjoyed goulash in your life, but it's a simple meal, but it's really tasty. In this skillet here, I've got some venison burger. You know, very tasty, very lean. It does have some beef fat in it, but it's ground venison with beef fat. And so we're going to use bell pepper, onion, regular old ketchup. We're going to put some ketchup in it, some whole kernel corn, stewed tomatoes, salt, and of course we're going to have some chili powder in it. I don't think I'm forgetting anything other than I'm going to put about 4 packages of these shells in it, noodles if you will. And I think we're going to have some great food. We're going to be cooking it here with B&B charcoal. We're going to build a fire with our B&B charcoal here. And then I've got some of the B&B charcoal, our B&B charcoal wood. Actually, this is mesquite wood. We're going to start a charcoal fire. I'll show you that. And then we're going to put this wood on it to get it going. And then we're going to start cooking, so stick with me. Well, folks, we have our deer burger, onions, and bell peppers, and a little jalapeno over the fire. Here's what it looks like. I'm going to stir this up and actually brown the deer burger first. Give you a little closer look. Peppers and onions are already in there. A little of the chili powder. So I'm going to go ahead and stir that up and brown it, and then we'll come back and we'll add the other ingredients. But the fire is just about right here. That B&B charcoal cannot beat it. Okay, folks, we have our deer burger all browned nicely here with the onions and bell pepper and a little jalapeno in it. So it's time to add some seasoning. We need some salt for sure. Let's put a little salt in there. I had some chili powder in there in the beginning, but let's put a little more chili powder. That's what makes goulash really good, in my opinion. Chili powder. Alright, so I always like to stir everything as I add it. Make sure it's all stirred up and mixed well. Give it a little more chili powder. It does not have quite the color that it needs to have, nor the flavor, so we add a little more chili powder to it. Okay, that's looking like the basic of goulash. Now, what does goulash have in it? Corn. Let's put a can of corn in there. And let's put a can of diced tomatoes. Now then, it's time to stir some more, right? Get this all incorporated together. I'm going to put a little bit more wood on the fire and bring it up to a slow simmer. And then goulash has to have ketchup. Got to have some ketchup. So let's put some ketchup in there. You notice I'm not measuring anything exactly. That's not camp cooking for you. But it is important to stir everything up, and then after I bring this up to temperature, we're gonna put a lid on it, folks, and just I'm gonna let it cook real slow. Oh, for maybe 30 minutes. I want all these flavors to incorporate. But you can see it's beginning to look like goulash. And then after everything's incorporated and cooked well together with a lid on it, we're going to add our noodles. So I'll show you that in just a little bit. Right now, let's bring it up to temperature, put a lid on it, and let her cook a while. Well, folks, this has been cooking about 10 minutes with noodles. And really not noodles. I use the Mexican shells. I think they're pronounced conchas, C-O-N-C-H-A-S. But they're made by a company called La Moderna. La Moderna. I know they're out of Cleveland, Texas, and then down in Mexico. But they use durum wheat, and I think durum wheat adds a lot of flavor to it. Let's pull the top off of this and let you look at it here. Goulash. Now with some cornbread, I'm going to tell you what, folks, this is some really good. Of course, I've already sampled this. I wouldn't just show it to you without testing it out first, but I think down at the hog hunting camp, that's going to make a good meal for Mr. Wysoon and Mr. Jeff and myself. All about cooking stuff up early, taking it to camp, and you don't have to worry about cooking it. I can just imagine making this dish after we shoot a couple of 3 hogs and skinning the hogs and all that. Don't have to worry about it. I'm going to cook some cornbread to go with this. Hope you enjoyed our little cooking segment. Campfire Goulash. A Sportsman's Life is also made possible by Air Force Air Guns, AGM Global Vision, H3 Whitetail Solutions, and Pyramid Air.
Hello sports fans, Bill Carey with Striper Express with your fishing tip this week on A Sportsman's Life. I'm going to talk about dead sticking baits. Luke and I were doing radio last week or so, and we talked about circus colors. That's a big jig. That's a 2-ounce jig. That's a 5-inch sassy tail. This is to keep it underneath you if you're fishing deep and in the wind. But that is a bright color, 2-ounce head, big old head. Good old standby. Spinner, sassy, 4-inch, always good, and not big wind. Back to big wind. The fluke, very popular bait, 2-ounce head. See how that sparkles? Okay, what we do is we mark those fish. We place those baits down there and we hold them. We turn on a thumper or a trolling motor with a splasher. I'll show you the thumper next week, but these are our bright colored baits for dead sticking, and there you go. This is your fishing tip on A Sportsman's Life. Go catch a fish.
Conservation Today is brought to you by Hayden Outdoors Real Estate, the brand that sells the land. Visit HaydenOutdoors.com to find or sell your farm, ranch, or recreational property.
A man-made wood duck nesting structure is a key asset to help preserve and enhance wood duck populations and habitats. A well-constructed nesting box provides cover to ensure shelter and protection for eggs and ducklings when they are most vulnerable. A quality box consists of 4 things: design, protection, location, and maintenance. With these key elements, wood duck boxes will preserve and enhance the wood duck populations and habitats in your area.
Hi folks, I'm Luke Clayton, of course, and this is Mr. Steven Waugh. Steven is a wild hog buyer, but he also has a company that furnishes, I would call it a trail camera, but this is a live feed camera, folks, that you set it up in the woods. Steven, it's running all the time. You have a little app on your cell phone.
Yes.
And you can watch your woods and you can zoom in, can't you?
You can zoom in, you can spin it around, zoom in and out. Works off a SIM card. The SIM card, you can buy, we can sell you either an AT&T or Verizon, or we can sell you one that's got the ability to use any carrier in your area.
So it'll lock in if Verizon's the strongest.
Yes.
It'll pull in on that. That's
Yep.
Folks, that's a big plus. Basically, you know, what tricks a lot of people up, old timers like me with technology, this thing, folks, I mean, it's ready to go.
It's ready. When you get it, all you're going to have to do is download an app, turn the camera on, and scan a QR code on the camera, which is here, and it connects it automatically. There's nothing really you have to do.
You've got it
other than
ready
that.
to go.
It's ready to go.
That's a big plus right there. And then for like the first month service, how does it?
The first month is included in the purchase of the camera, and then after that, it's depending on how many gigs you're going to use. I personally use about 2 to 3 gigs a month on my hog traps. Seems to do just fine, and that's around the $20 to $25, depending on which SIM card you're going to use, Mark. So it's just right at what the normal cellular trail cameras charge.
Right.
So you're not looking at a big added expense.
Well, I wouldn't say this is like the newest thing on. This has been around just a little while, but in the hunting world, I mean, speaking as an old guys, I've had hunt traps out and feeders and everything going with cell cameras.
Right.
Why in the world would a person buy and pay $200 for a cell camera, a good one,
That just
trail
sends-
camera,
yeah.
when for a picture that they go pull their SD card and they go poke it in their computer, and like I've been doing for years,
Right.
when they can have a video live feed.
video.
Stephen, tell our friends how a bunch of people are going to be wanting one of these.
Right.
And I guarantee you they work, because I've been watching his for about a month. How do they get one to their...
They can call me directly, 214-809-5303, or you can get me on Facebook at Kaufman County Wild Hog Buyer.
Kaufman County Wild Hog Buyer.
Yes.
On Facebook. And that number again
Is 214-809-5303.
Folks, thanks so much for joining us. This segment of our show is brought to us by Gearhead Archery, Snaplock Hunting Blinds, Smoking Texas Electric Smokers, TRHP Outdoors, Ultramatic Feeders, and Catfish Pro Catfish Bait and Catfishing Supplies. Make sure and tune in next week. We'll have another exciting show ready to go for you.